got to talk about something we learned on Friday. And Mike Kliss was generous enough to join us on Friday, seeing that we had Thursday off. And we didn't get a ton of time to react to something he said. And something he said made my ears perk up a little bit. You and I kind of looked at each other like, ooh, that's interesting. And I had asked the question, like, what's a good season look like for Marvin Mims?
Right.
Because you and I talked about his receiving yards plus his kick and punt return yards. And last year, he had more of the latter than he did the former. I would assume it's going to be something similar, especially with the dynamic kickoff and things changing there. But what will his numbers look like? And Mike actually said, hey, hold on the numbers. You don't really necessarily need to gauge it off of that. That's not the end-all, be-all. Can he or can he not make one big play every single week via pass catching or punt return, kick return, whatever opportunity Marvin gets with the football in his hands? And when he said that, that's when you and I kind of looked at each other like, okay, that's an interesting gauge there,
right.
like a barometer to see if he can or cannot reach that mark week in and week out. But then I started thinking about it a little bit more over the weekend and then getting ready to do the show today. I thought, man, we need to revisit that conversation.
So you were doing yard work and you're thinking about Marvin Mims.
Yeah. I was angry up there on my roof cleaning out the gutters like he's angry on the football field not getting the ball enough. Which, by the way, I was just telling you, shout out to the gutter folks out there.
Oh, my God.
It's a little scarier than I thought it was going to be, getting up there, like leaning over with a trash can and there's about a 75% chance I fall off the roof today.
Yeah, and you went up on your ladder in flip-flops.
Yeah,
initially.
Stupid decision on my part.
Yeah. No. Put the shoes on.
I'm an idiot. For second home, but real first home. The landscapers did everything before that I have to do, and I'm learning on the fly. So I'll make a few mistakes.
Okay, yeah.
I'll probably be texting you a couple times.
Just don't break any bones.
Knock on wood.
Probably be borrowing the power washer again,
Knock on
right?
wood. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, Marvin Mims, one big play again. Dude, put the number at 3.
Whoa, a game.
Yeah.
I thought one was kind of crazy.
Wait. You're shocked by 3?
Yeah.
Marvin Mims.
Dude, how many?
Marvin Mims.
He, in his 2-year NFL career, off the top of my head, he's had about 3.
Well, let's define explosive.
Okay.
Because you're thinking of field flipping plays, right?
An
80-yard
touchdown.
touchdown.
I'm thinking that 90-yard touchdown.
I'm thinking anything over 15 yards.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you should scheme it up so that every time Marvin Mims touches the ball, it's going to be 15-plus yards. And not just the target of – he doesn't have to be the downfield guy, especially with Evan Engram clearing out the middle of the field. The Engram effect will be in full effect this year for the Denver Broncos because Engram, even as a decoy, we've mentioned on the show, he's going to clear out the middle of the field. Imagine Marvin running right behind him on a little drag route, dump off, easy pass, easy catch, and then turn on the jets. Speed and space with Marvin Mims in the open field, that's almost like a return. So you're setting up return opportunities on offense for Mims. So I think as a runner, as a receiver, as a kick punt returner, yeah, you could say 3. If you want to be, conservative, say 2. Can we get 2 plays over 15 yards from Marvin Mims every game? Yeah. Yeah, you can. And yeah, you should. Mims is one of those guys you scheme up plays for. He did that last year where you kind of were forced to because you didn't have the talent. You didn't have playmakers outside of Cortland Sutton. Javonte Williams averaging 3 yards a carry, thinks it's okay. You had to go to Marvin Mims. He made that role for himself. So this year, you make him an integral part of this offense. Now, not one of the key features. Your key features are Evan Engram. Your key features are Cortland Sutton, J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, the ground game. I'll combine them collectively. Those are your key features. But you want to go auxiliary? You want to go a player that maybe the defense is falling asleep a little bit? That's where Marvin Mims comes into play.
See, I guess I would look at – I probably shouldn't, but 15 yards or more sounds a little underwhelming. But I shouldn't feel that way. That's a pretty big gain, right? Especially with what this Broncos team has been over the last couple of years.
It would take 5 carries for Javonte Williams to get 15 yards.
That's what I mean. You said the number, and my initial reaction is, oh, that's not that good. But then thinking about what this team is, and by the way, you get the 3 15-yard chunks. We're talking about 45 yards. Then you have flipped the field if it all comes in, the same drive, which is very unlikely. But that originally, when you said it, I kind of felt underwhelmed.
Well, and I'll readily admit I'm a nerd. So analytics-wise, you look at explosive plays, like their explosive play rate, that's 15 yards.
Oh, it is? Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
For a running back, it'd be like runs over 10 yards. For receivers, catches over 15 yards.
Okay.
So for Mims, he's kind of a little bit of a both. He's a runner, he's a receiver, he's a returner, he's a little bit of everything. He's your Riddler. So, yeah, give me 3 explosive plays from Marvin Mims a game, and give me design plays from Marvin Mims. run your offense, do your thing, set up Court, set up Engram, run the ball. But, man, Marvin, I mean, even with limited touches, let's say even like 40 catches, 50 catches, he could still put up, almost 1,000 yards receiving.
I really like the idea what you talked about with the drag route. What if Troy Franklin figures something out and you have on the field Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Evan Engram lined up in that, maybe his hands in the dirt. I just don't think you're going to get a lot of that.
Right.
And you have two guys running drag routes. Bo gets to pick which side has more green grass in front of it.
Right.
And that's where he throws the football to let Marvin and Troy be with speed and space and blockers out in front. Now we're talking about exactly what you said a week ago. Sean Payton's playbook just opening wide open.
It's wide open. And what's really interesting, and I'll send you guys a video, different videos than I normally send. I'll send you guys a video of how defenders, you're trying to attack a triangle, basically, in the secondary and on a pass play, and how offenses are just set up to influence. It's almost a basketball lineup of like, okay, we're going to run this play to run this screen, so you're getting open, and then we have a secondary shot on the baseline. That's what you're doing in football now. Football's changed. It's not just like run them up there, run your post route. You're essentially trying to confuse one defender out of the triangle of the three, linebacker, corner, safety, on one side of the field. What can you do to influence those guys to take a step where they're not supposed to go, where you're going to run a route behind them?
Yeah.
Sean Payton's going to be an expert at that already. So the league has changed, and the league has changed to attacking downfield in that defensive triangle, and the Broncos now have the weapons to do that.
I love it. I love hearing it, man. This thing on paper, well, it feels like the Broncos.
We're going to be a problem.
Let's hope that they are a problem.